Hey, y'all, and welcome back. It's your girl, and you already know what. Tony been in the house. Yeah, I told him I'm good, babe. Just getting over a nasty cold. The nastiest cold I would get every year when the weather changed. But what's up with y'all? Saturday Night Live with your girl, the real deal, Louisa Gill. We're gonna speak on Shanquella Robinson. We just chilling, y'all. Getting my voice back and everything. Yeah, I'm good, Tony. Thank you. Yeah, we're gonna finish where we left out, y'all. I got disconnected because I was doing too much. Lamita was doing too much. Lord, I spelled things backwards. Lord, thank you, Jesus. Okay, y'all, we're gonna get back to where we was. Okay, let's stop it right here. We're gonna get back where we were. We was talking about before we got disconnected. My mom will be back in a minute. We was talking about Shanquella Robinson. There's a lot of things going on with Shanquella Robinson case. And I wish that what's her name would come back, because it's a lot of things she made me think when the live went off. I want her to come back. She had me thinking. What's her name? God. Now, the young lady who we just had on our live with us brought us a couple things that I did not know. Now, she was saying that Shanquella Robinson, I know she had money when she went over there. But what shocked me that she supported the villa for everybody to stay in. Okay? Even if I got the money to support, get the villa for everybody, why is I'm getting a villa in Mexico for people I don't know? That's a flag for me. Number two, she had $1,700 they stole from her Why did they have to steal from her? If she was giving them stuff. Okay, they let you know who got the power. The money is the power. Number two, what else they said? She said $5,000. They were asking for $5,000 to transfer her body back over there. If y'all look at this case right here, real deal, y'all know for yourself, it's a money thing going up here. So I want to ask y'all something. Have Shanquella ever scam anybody? Is she into that money stuff? And y'all know how y'all grow money on top of money. What was up with this trip? Was this really a real trip? You know, where a vacation where girls supposed to do their thing? What was up about this trip? What really supposed to happen on this trip? Because some ain't right. Why would she get, and then it's more like she don't know these girls and she got comfortable around them. So we're gonna look at this video and we're gonna pinpoint the video. I got it all night. I ain't going out tonight. Anita can't go out tonight. That's why she said going out being fast. Okay, so I'm gonna take my time and I'm just gonna play the video.
Well, justice will be served. That's what the father of Shanquella Robinson had to say at the Beatties Ford Memorial Gardens, where Shanquella is buried. Bernard Robinson spoke about the investigation into his daughter's mysterious death in Mexico. Wake Up Charlotte's Richard Devane was there and joins us now with the latest. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning to you, Sarah. Good Tuesday morning. Yeah, this was the first time that Bernard had a chance to speak since the Department of Justice made that statement last week saying that they weren't seeking charges in the case. But he says, despite that news, he believes ultimately his daughter will. Bernard Robinson says he wants everyone to know that he's not given up hope that one day justice will be served in the case of his daughter, Shanquella Robinson, who died while vacationing in Cabo, Mexico last October. Robinson spoke Monday afternoon at Shanquella's gravesite.
As I say, I want to thank everyone around this world, this nation that's praying and continue to pray, because this father right here is hurting tremendously.
Mexican officials have issued an arrest warrant for one of the 6 people she was with on that trip, but as of yet, no one has been taken into custody. Last week, the Department of Justice, citing lack of evidence, says it will not seek charges in the Robinson case.
Justice will be served. Justice will be served. It's going to be served. It's going to be served.
And so what does that justice look like?
This just going to look like they're going to get what they deserve to get to them. You just don't take a life. They brutally beat her. She didn't agree to fight.
And when asked if he had heard from any of the relatives or the people who were on that trip with his daughter since this incident happened, Bernard Robinson said no. He also said right now he doesn't know if he plans to make that march on Washington next month.
I don't understand it. I don't understand why the dad ain't heard nothing.
Are you sick of having issues with your webinars, wasting tons of time on troubleshooting with attendees? If so,
Being her business is just a point of making sure she okay and the folks that are around company. Because everybody can say you your friend, but they're really not. It all depends on what you got and how you carry yourself. And she carried up.
I don't think I could show this because it's somebody, it's not the news. It's somebody else video, so I can't play. What? I can't play that one. Let hear what he talking about. Everybody he trying to do their place.
panel discussions, or whether or not it's press conferences where we lift up names of those of us who need us to scream a little bit louder so we can have the raindrops of justice drip down upon us today. And today at this press conference, we're here to talk about Ms. Robinson.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We're here to talk about someone who we did not forget about.
Amen.
We're here to talk about a travesty and an injustice, but even more importantly, we're here to have a call to action.
Yes, sir.
You know, we talked a lot about holding our leaders accountable and holding our friends accountable, but it's time for Washington, D.C. to act so that we can have justice in North Carolina. It's time for Washington, D.C. to act so that these parents can begin the opportunity to grieve.
Yes, sir. Amen.
So that they
Amen.
can actually sleep at night knowing that they fought for justice for their loved one. I love fighting alongside Ben Crump because I know that drum beat never stops.
Amen.
He's a drum major for justice, a drum major for peace.
Thank you, bro.
And even when he's not necessarily doing the work that you always see on TV, he's always fighting.
Amen.
And so Ben asked me, he said, Bakari, will you help us echo those calls to Washington, D.C. to get this family some justice?
Amen.
And I said, I'm a little boy from Denmark, South Carolina, but they look like they part of my family. And so we're going to continue that fight. We're going to have Ben Crump come up and speak. We're proud to be here on this illustrious, historically Black college campus where we've had these fight for justice before.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
HBCUs are no stranger to this fight.
That's right, Daddy.
And so we're here again to scream loudly. And I will start by asking the President of the United States, the Vice President, both of whom I call friends.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking for Merrick Garland, another individual I call a friend.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking for Anthony Blinken, another individual I call a friend,
All right, now.
to do what's right and to do what's just, to do what's righteous and to do what's justice, which is to make sure that individuals are brought to justice for harming one of our beautiful Black sisters.
Amen.
With that, Benjamin Crump, please come forward.
Thank you, Bakari. Give Bakari a round of applause. Thank you for using your influence, Bakari Sellers, and your brilliance to always make the case for us. I want to thank so much Dr. Anthony Davis, the president of Livingstone College, for allowing this institution to serve as a foundation for justice for Shanquella Robinson. So thank you, Dr. Davis. And we certainly want to thank Equal Justice Now, National Civil Rights Organization, and what could be more prophetic than to have Equal Justice Now have a forum where we're demanding equal justice now for Shanquella Robinson. That's right. We have her beautiful mother, Salamandra, here with us. We have her sister, Quayla, here with us. We also have Mario Black from 1 Million Youth Voice.
Million Youth March of Charlotte and Salisbury.
Okay, and Salisbury. We have Dominique Calhoun, who is the president-elect of the National Bar Association, the largest association of lawyers and judges in America and abroad. We have Ms. Dawn Blagrove, who is the executive director of Emancipate North Carolina, who's going to address you momentarily. We also have Reverend Greg Drumright, who is the executive director and president of Justice for the Next Generation. We have a lot of special people here, but I'd be remiss if we didn't acknowledge Scott Exdale, who is the national chair of criminal justice reform for the NAACP nationally. And we thank all of these people because it's going to take a yeoman's effort to get simple justice for Shanquella. We have Jacob Blake Sr., the father of Jacob Blake Jr., who, as you all remember, was shot 7 times in the back in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Did not think it robbery. He knows about justice delayed, to stand with Ms. Robinson's mother and sister and their family to say, we won't forget your daughter. And so with that, I'm going to give some brief remarks, as Bakari said, and then we're going to hear from Reverend Drumright and Don Blagrove, Mario Black, announcing what their organizations are doing to stand in solidarity with the Robinson family. The developments, as you all know, Attorney Sue Ann Robinson, my co-counsel, and I authored a letter that we sent to President Biden and Secretary Blinken, asking them to do one or two things. And that was either to extradite the killers of Shanquella Robinson, because there's an outstanding warrant by the Mexican government based on the evidence, not just on the video, but the evidence of autopsy, that her neck was broke. That was the cause of death. And we see how her neck got broke based on the video. Or two, to accept the concurrent jurisdiction that the Mexican government has offered America to come and have a federal prosecutor prosecute the killers of Shanquella Robinson. And the reason that is an option, when you think about it, everybody involved were U.S. citizens.
Right.
I don't have to tell you all this story. Her and these alleged friends went to Mexico for a vacation. And for reasons we cannot think of, it's inexplicable, whether it's envy or what, why they would murder Shanquella. And it's still heartbreaking to think about the video. And so we have put the issue right at the footsteps of the White House.
Take it to it.
We expect Senator Menendez, who's over the Foreign Relations Committee, Sellers, to have a meeting with our legal team and the family, Tamika Mallory and others who have been advocating for justice, to explain to us why they can do all these things for other people where they have no video evidence. But when you have video evidence of what happened to this angel from Charlotte, you all are slow dragging. It don't make any sense to any of us. And then also we expect that we're going to have, whether virtually or in person, a meeting with the White House after the 1st of April, at least hear something from them in regards to our request. Now, they have been very cautious to say they don't want to interfere with the State Department and prosecutors, and we respect that. However, she was an American citizen. She was killed on a foreign land, on video. We expect for you to care about this Black woman just like you would care about any other American citizen killed in a foreign country on video. So we want you to use the full weight of your office to get justice, because as we talked about so eloquently and passionately today here at Livingstone College at the Equal Justice Now Forum, justice delayed is justice denied. And we're going to get justice for Shanquella Robinson. We're going to get justice one way or the other for Shanquella Robinson. Justice for Shanquella Robinson. Justice for Shanquella Robinson. Justice for Shanquella Robinson.
Justice for Shanquella Robinson.
Amen. And I know Ms. Don Blagrove with Emancipate NC will make a brief statement for you, and then Reverend Drumright. But we're going to hear from her mother and her sister finally before we take some of your questions. So without further ado, a great lawyer, a great leader, a great freedom fighter here in North Carolina, Ms. Dawn Blagrove from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Hello, my name is Attorney Dawn Blagrove. I am the Executive Director of Emancipate NC. That's Blagrove, BLAGROVE. Emancipate NC is an organization that is committed to ending systemic and institutional racism, particularly within the criminal justice system. And I stand here before you today, not just as an attorney, not just as an abolitionist, not just as an activist, but as a Black mother. And I stand here to say to you that we must remember that Black lives matter.
That's right. Amen. That's right. Amen.
And the justice for Black lives matters.
Amen.
It does not matter where this child was murdered.
That's it.
It does not matter the hue of the skin of the people that murdered this child.
Amen.
The only thing that matters is that there is a mother who is grieving.
Yes, sir.
And at this very moment, sees no avenue for justice for her lost child.
Tell it.
That is an indictment on America.
Mm-hmm.
That is an indictment on the criminal justice system. But most importantly, it is an indictment on the people who have the power to create justice, to stand in this moment and show America and the world that Black lives matter.
Tell them.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And next we will have Reverend Greg Drumright from Justice for the Next Generation come and greet you.
Good afternoon. I'm grateful to be back on the campus of Livingstone College, where Black college leadership has stepped up in more ways than one or two today to draw attention to the issues that continue to plight our community and specifically the next generation of Black and brown people in America. I've taken particular interest in this case, like millions of people across the world, because Shanquella wasn't just a Black woman, she was a young Black woman. As Attorney Blagrove said, her life mattered because at 25 years old, this was a young Black female entrepreneur. She was also an HBCU alum.
Yes, sir.
Graduate of Winston-Salem State University right here in North Carolina, where more HBCUs exist than in any other state in the country. I pastor a parish just 45 minutes up the road from here, where 90% of millennials and college students fill my pews each and every Sunday. I am standing with Shanquella's family today because that could have been a young lady out of my congregation. That could have been a young lady out of our neighborhood around the corner from our parish. That could have been one of the young ladies in my family. I've known Mario Black for nearly 20 years, and I'm joining the fight with the activists and organizers today. Justice for the Next Generation is standing with the Million Youth March here in Charlotte and in Salisbury, North Carolina. We're continuing our work with Attorney Benjamin Crump, Attorney Bakari Sellers, to stand in solidarity with this family to bring justice for Shanquella back to her family. I spoke with her family. I don't speak out on any case until I speak to the family so that I can understand who it is. And after speaking with this family, I am convinced, and I'm gonna do like Attorney Sellers did. I'm gonna call on my friends in Washington. I'm gonna call on Assistant Attorney General Kristen Clark,
Call them out.
who I have full confidence in, who stood with our organization, Justice for the Next Generation, as we were fighting for justice for young Black folks in Alamance County. And I'm going to ask Washington to do the right thing. We are urging the State Department to extradite the killers of Miss Robinson back to Mexico, where there is an outstanding warrant. As a clergyman, let me say one more thing. This morning, I woke up and my first meeting was on a call with college students as I am leading them through the prophetic book of Amos. Prophet Amos, one of the most poignant prophets in our biblical text, who spent most of his prophetic influence urging that there would be justice. Justice for the marginalized, justice for those who are poor, justice for those who are living on the fringes of the society then, and I would argue right now. And in the words of Prophet Amos, I would say, from chapter 5, verse 24, justice rolled down for Shanquella, like mighty rivers of waters, and righteousness like a mighty stream. Justice for Shanquella Robinson.
Justice for Shanquella Robinson. Thank you so much, Reverend Drumright. The final person you will hear from before we hear from Miss Salamandra and her sister, Quella, is going to be a young man who hails right here in the Charlotte-Mecklenburg County area. He's a young brother who's been fighting with this family from day one. And so I thank him. I thank Until Freedom with Tamika Mallory and my son and the others who have been fighting when there was no press, nobody, because they said Shanquella life matters. And, you know, oftentimes they try to accuse us for only making noise and raising alarm if it's a white police officer that kills a Black person unjustly. Well, that is not true. Anytime any person is killed unjustly, whether it's a Black person or a white person, we make noise because we stand for justice. And it does not matter if it is a cop or somebody in the community. If you kill a person unjustly, you be held. That is what equal justice is. And we want equal justice now. We don't want to have to come back 200 days later as Until Freedom is planning a big march on Washington, D.C. if they still haven't expedited these murderers. And so it is about never ever forgetting that Shanquella Robinson could have been your daughter, could have been your sister, could have been your best friend. That's what this is about. So without further ado, Mr. Mario Black, a great leader, a great civil rights leader for not just this county, but for all over America. Mario.
Good afternoon. I am Mario Black, founder of Million Youth March of Charlotte and Salisbury. I'm going to ask Ms. Robinson and Quilla to come stand beside me for 2 seconds. Just stand beside me as I talk. As Attorney Crump has stated, I've stood with this family from day one, from really October to now. And my sole message and my purpose is to help get justice for Shanquella Robinson. This family have become my family. We did the official rally in December. I said this in Washington a couple of weeks ago. We did the official rally in December. We celebrated her birthday in January. February, we did 1,000 pink letters to Washington, to Mexico, asking authorities to make sure that they do the right thing. March the 3rd, Attorney Crump and Tamika Mallory, John Barnett, a bunch of us traveled to Washington with the Robinson family. We were in Washington making some noise and asking for justice for Shanquella. We was in me and Miss Robinson were in New York the week after that. Same thing, same message, justice for Shanquella Robinson. That's all we're asking for. President Biden, I said the wrong name in DC, but President Biden, Vice President Harris, do the right thing and let these messages from all these people get to Washington. No justice, no peace. Arrest the Cabo Six. Say it with me. No justice, no peace. Arrest the Cabo Six.
Yes, sir. All right. Thank you so much, Mario. And now we're going to hear first from her sister, Quella, who has been, I mean, really pushing this. And you can only imagine if that was your blood, how you would feel. So she's not a lawyer or a commentator. She's going to speak from the heart about her sister. And this is very hard for her and her mother.
Yes.
Okay.
Take your time.
My mama did an interview about a week ago, well, a couple of days ago, and the person in the interview asked her, what would happen if you don't get justice? And I wanted to step in and say, well, in that case, then I need to change my occupation because we got the wrong people in the wrong places, the wrong job.
Absolutely.
Amen.
There's no way that it should be 5 months with a video in place
Talk about it.
and all kind of other information about the individuals that was on the trip with my sister. At this point, everybody in that room should be held accountable. At least one person should have been brought in for questioning.
Amen.
I don't understand it. We've been questioning it since October the 29th of her death. We've been questioning it and trying to figure out why is it taking so long? What is going on? It gets to the point where we have to question our government. And that's sad. And then it gets to the point where we have to stand up here and do press conference. There's certain stuff that we shouldn't have to do when it's too much information is out there.
And let me say this, she's absolutely right. This is something that's easy. You have a video.
Facts are clear.
I mean, ocular proof, visual evidence. You have an autopsy telling us what was the cause of death. My law partner, Sue Ann Robinson, should not have had to go spend a week in Mexico trying to gather up facts to do the job of government officials who can arrest people every day here in Charlotte and Salisbury with no evidence at all. You got all the evidence in the world. What is taking you so long? Why do we have to put such an effort for justice for Shanquella Robinson when we know what happened to her? Sometimes it's a mystery. I know Rasheem Carter in Mississippi, little young man who was lynched, everybody, you don't know. We know who the murderers of Shanquella Robinson was. The question is, why haven't they been arrested and sent to Mexico to face the evidence? Extradite them now. Now.
Hey, let the mama talk.
And we're now going to hear from Miss Salamandra, her mother, and then we're going to try to take a few of your questions.
Good evening. My daughter, Shanquella, was a great daughter. She was a great friend. You know, she loved people, loved life. And I don't know how no one could have done this to her. It's just terrible that they had a heart. They didn't even have a heart to do her like that. You know, she would give you the shirt off her back. You know, she was a kind child, growed up to be lovable, love people. You know, and they done her like this. It's just terrible. And then they had a video that went viral. The whole world seen the video, and there's been no arrest since October the 29th. What kind of system is this?
Right. My Lord.
I just don't understand it.
We will get justice for your baby, Miss Robinson. We will get justice. We're going to try to take a few of your questions, if you have any.
You were in DC earlier this month, and you kind of talked about the diplomatic intervention. Has anything come out of that? You said you're going to take the documents to them.
Yes, we've Attorney Robinson and I have got the letter and the supporting affidavits and evidence to the White House, to the Secretary Blinken of the State Department as well. We sent it over to the Department of Justice, to U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland's attention. As I stated, we are expecting to meet with the Foreign Relations Committee, and we are expecting to have an audience with some members of the White House after April 1st.
And so I mean, that's 3 weeks. We're going on 5 months next week.
We counting down 200 days. We've already said it in Washington, D.C. We know that the National Bar Association is going to be issuing a letter. We understand that all the national fraternities and sororities and different civil rights organizations in that time leading up to 200 days are going to be issuing demands for our government to do something. I was talking to, I don't know if it was President Davis, but we were talking about, and maybe it was Attorney Sellers, about there's an outstanding warrant. You know, why isn't Mexico just coming to get the killers?
Right.
We, the United States of America, do we really think somebody's going to come on our national land and try to take an American citizen without having some agreement that that person could be extradited? And so the question really is, why isn't the State Department extraditing these killers? You know, we keep thinking about, you know, unfortunately, the racial dynamics. This is a Black woman. Yeah. When it was Natalie Holloway, we did all kind of stuff.
Right.
It should be no different. No different at all for Shanquella Robinson, this beautiful angel from Charlotte, North Carolina. Did y'all hear about her character? I mean, what she used to do, she would braid little boys and little girls' hair. I mean, she was just so involved in the community. And for her to be killed in this manner and nobody do anything is a shame before God. We have to get justice. Yes, ma'am.
Have you gotten any sort of response trying to give any sort of explanation from any of the U.S. agencies as to why there is such a holdup?
Well, you know, they've told the family and they tell us that they are working on the matter. But it's just very difficult to believe. What are you having to work so hard on when you got a video and you got an autopsy report and you got a warrant? Mexican authorities have already concluded the investigation. They've said that it was homicide.
The work is done.
The work is done. And so seems like the only thing remaining, Thomas Lucas, is for them to extradite the killers to a government that's ready to prosecute. If America isn't going to prosecute, let's let the Mexican government prosecute. Let's don't stand in the way, not one day longer.
Period.
One more question. Well, you two, and then with the question.
What efforts can be made by individuals to raise awareness around this issue?
You know, I love what Mario Black said, that, you know, the letters. I mean, it matters the more we're calling, sending letters. You know, I thank April Ryan for asking the question at the White House briefing last week. That was very important because we have to continue to use our voice for Shanquella Robinson because she has no voice anymore. And I will hope and pray that if that was my daughter, somebody would think it robbery to say, when I get a chance to speak to power, to speak truth to power and say, what are y'all doing about Shanquella Robinson? Now, I know there's a lot going on in the world, and I understand that. But this is an easy one, President Biden. This is an easy one, Vice President Harris. I mean, all you got to do is extradite killers back to Mexico. And so what individuals can do, and hopefully being here on the campus of Livingstone College, we can have all the young people here on the college campus engage with this family to start a letter writing campaign, an email campaign where we just flood the emails at the State Department, you know, much in the way we had to do with Brittany Griner, say, you know, when are you going to extradite the killers of Shanquella Robinson? That should be everybody every day emailing the State Department to where they throw up their hands and say, man, Crump and Attorney Robinson, yeah, okay, we're gonna address this now. It shouldn't be this much effort. It should not be. It should not be. Last question.
I gotta ask, you've worked hundreds of cases, thousands of conversations that you've had over your career. How does this story, how does the work that you're having put into this, how is it so different than the other stories and situations that you've had worked in the past?
You know, obviously, this is a little different than, say, a George Floyd or Breonna Taylor. Has similarities to Ahmaud Arbery and Trayvon Martin. When you think about citizens killing citizens, you know, police get to argue qualified immunity, you know, all these things. Well, these are regular citizens. And when you commit a crime as a regular citizen, they come and arrest you. And so what's so different about this, Reverend Drumright, is why are they coming to arrest these people? It's like, Don, they're hiding in plain sight. I mean, they're going on about their life.
And we're in a state where there is legislation pending right now in the North Carolina General Assembly that is forcing sheriffs to cooperate with ICE. If we have a process in place to extradite people who have come to America from Mexico and from all over the world to seek a better life, why can we not employ those same resources and those same processes to ensure that people who are a danger to folks in the communities that they live in Charlotte as they walk the streets freely, where we've seen them on a video brutally murder their friend, why is it so difficult for us to get them to Mexico?
Okay, and so I got a video to answer their question, y'all. I have a video right here that's going to answer the question, what they just asked. They asked the question, why? Right here, I found this video right here saying, the video that I found right here, let me share it with y'all. It was saying that, let me share it, hold on. It said, not enough evidence to prosecute Shanquella Robinson case, federal investigators said. That's what they said. This is what the federal government, I mean, why are they telling them one thing and telling us another thing? You see how the federal work? They telling us one thing and telling them another thing. So let's see what they got to say to answer that question, what the young lady just asked.
In case, federal prosecutors announcing they will not pursue federal charges in the Charlotte woman's murder in Mexico.
The 25-year-old was killed back in October while on vacation with friends in Mexico. Today, the U.S. attorney said there is not enough evidence to prosecute anyone. Initially, Shanquella's friends claimed she died from alcohol poisoning, but an autopsy revealed that it was a severe spinal cord injury. Today, her family addressed the public, expressing the family's disappointment.
Mrs. Robinson, again, is obviously disappointed, as is all the family at the meeting today, but we're not deterred. We're still going to be marching on May 19th because it shouldn't be that in this country. Fortunately, what it is.
Mexican authorities filed an arrest warrant, but there have been no arrests.
I don't understand that. don't understand it.
This October 10th and 11th.
I don't understand that, y'all. I really don't. I just don't know what they just said. They ain't got enough evidence. What they mean by they ain't got enough evidence? I don't understand that. They telling being crunk one thing and telling us another thing. I don't understand it. I really don't. I don't even know what to say, what to show, or nothing. I did the best I could. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I don't know. I did. I just don't know how. Let me show y'all this. I just don't understand how all this here is getting out. They got being crunk thinking one thing, and it ain't number one thing. It's another. If I believe somebody lying. I believe somebody, either the Mexican government lying, somebody lying about this thing. Someone should have been held accountable, right? It's stupid.
Woman who died in Cabo, Mexico during a vacation with friends late last year. A video taken captured Shanquella being physically assaulted during that trip. Mexican authorities filed an arrest warrant in her death, but no one has been arrested yet. WCNC Charlotte's Jesse Pierre sharing how loved ones are turning this tragedy now into purpose.
With this, we definitely want to keep her name alive.
Brunching with a purpose. Pink and yellow decor filled the Bazal Gallery, Shanquella Robinson's favorite colors. The empowerment brunch hosted in honor of the 25-year-old Charlotte woman who tragically died in Mexico last year. Shanquella's story touching the hearts beyond those she knew.
The story was just like devastating, and I'm a mom, and there's so many unanswered questions that I feel like needs to be answered. So why not just come and just support?
SBR Helping Hands is named after Shanquella. The women behind the group, which include Shanquella's sister, say they are determined to keep Shanquella's legacy alive and push initiatives she was passionate about.
We're going to focus on bullying. We're going to focus on mental health awareness. We want to give out scholarships and just different ways to get back involved with the community.
Basketball Wives star Jennifer Williams, national civil rights activist Tamika Mallory, and the family's attorney Sue Ann Robinson all took the stage.
I'm really just excited to hear the activists speak and also the attorney, just to see where the case is headed to, where it's going, if they have any more new information.
Video of Shanquella being brutally beaten during the trip sparked national outrage. Robinson says the fight for justice does not stop, and their legal team is pushing for the U.S. government to uphold the arrest warrant and extradition filed by Mexican authorities.
Extradition is an extremely political process, and we're grinding through that process, through that bureaucracy every single day on her behalf.
In the meantime, SBR Helping Hands work to uplift others in the name of the late Shanquella Robinson. Jesse Pierre, WCNC.
That's nice. Well, at least they doing something to keep the awareness out there. I ain't never seen that. That was real nice. let's see what her dad got to say. I never had a dad.
Jiffy Lube, it's our job to keep you moving. With a full range of services.
Let's see what the daddy say.
You know, everybody want to say how beautiful she was on the outside, but she was a beautiful person in the inside. So this father right here will mostly, you know, on her about her, you know, morals, you know, respect, manners, setting goals in her life, just making sure that she don't look down on nobody, you know. By the blink of an eye, you can be in that position the same like that person that you're looking down on. So always, you know, respect your elders. If you can help anybody in any kind of way to help them, you know. But going through high school, junior high, you know, I had obstacles. I had obstacles to deal with her because y'all didn't believe me. Now she got off the track a lot, but you know, yeah, that's just part of life, you know. But still, at the same time, as that father that made sure that you want an education, you want your daughter to be something, but be successful in her own way, and to make sure that you know you put those qualities in her that she can go out here and do for her own. You know, you're gonna have some ups and downs. That's what I tell her. But still, at the same time, you learn from your mistakes and you move on. And you move on. And you put yourself around people, positive people who going places. You know, I always tell her, if you're the smartest one out of 60 y'all, 70 y'all, then that's where you need to come. You need to start evaluating everybody that's in your circle because you shouldn't be the smartest one out of that group around you or your group of friends. Not at all. If it is, you got a problem. You got a problem. I wasn't perfect at all, you know, at a younger age, but as I grew, you know, I learned from the mistakes that I made in life. And, and I told myself I bring a daughter in this world or a son in this world that I definitely gonna be in their life, you know, from day one. You know, make sure they had what they had, they weren't gonna go without, you know. I tell every young man when you bring a child in this world, at some point in time, your life don't completely come to a stop. But now that child didn't ask to come here. So by that child didn't ask to come here, or if it did, y'all agree to bring that child in this world, and now it's your responsibility to make sure that child get taken care of, regardless of what the situation is. You get up and go to work for that child. Make sure make sure your son or your daughter have what they're supposed to have in life, so they can, you know, um, take those tools and be a good citizen or make it in life. You know, so all that's gone. I mean, you know, God blessed her, blessed me with her for 25 years. That's his child. You know, I can't question him. Only thing I can do, ma'am, is just stand and be her voice and just make sure she don't, you know, she don't die in vain, man. That's it. Definitely to the utmost, man. Um, like the GoFundMe page, you know, day one, um, I told Tamika, man, I ain't want no part of that GoFundMe page. I just want just, yeah, I just want justice for my daughter, man. God, God gonna fight my battles for me. He been doing it ever since. I always put my cares in his hands, you know. So he been moving ever since day one, man. Since he came home to the United, put that plane hits the ground, man, on that United States soil. And when I saw her, I cried like a baby. But And I saw what happened, you know. And I had to film like I'm sitting here at this table right now, but I was at my mom's house. First phone number I dialed over there, the morgue or the funeral home, a Mexican lady, Miss Elizabeth. She couldn't be no more than about 28, maybe 31. You know, she never knew me. I never knew her. I never saw her or nothing, man. But, you know, she said, Miss Robinson, I got your son, your daughter. And she said, I'm going to stick with you today. I want to make sure your daughter get back to you. You know, she kept her word. And I know it wasn't never God doing, you know. You know, I didn't know how much it was, man, to bring her back over here. I didn't have a clue. But I know that father that worked so hard that I always put back for a rainy day. So, and I'm that father that always pay my tithes when I go to church. So, you know, I look at it, God was, you know, setting me up for this, which I didn't see it coming. Which I always tell her, I always put back for a rainy day because you never know when that day gonna come, but you don't want to ask nobody for nothing. Sometimes people funny about loaning your money. So, so I made sure I had it when the price was put out there, man, I was able to bring her home, man. Bring her home and always, you know, do her funeral, you know, sit there. And I just thought she'll be burying me, not me burying her, you know. And that lady, you know, Miss Elizabeth, I just got to give my heart, my grateful gratitude to her because it would have been a wreck, man, if I couldn't find her, knowing that she was in another country and I couldn't even find her.
So it's a blessing.
Yeah, you know. When the video came out, I was at the graveyard. The video came out, you know, NCVB sent me the video, you know. I saw the video and she was there naked, man. They hitting on her now, you know. I just started crying out there at the funeral home because I was finding a place where I was going to bury her at so I can close the grave. And I told them, man, just send it. Send it viral, man, because people need to see this. They said it was alcohol poisoning, which I knew it wasn't no alcohol poisoning, man. And then when I got the autopsy, the lady, Miss Elizabeth, told me what the autopsy was before she even got back here, man. And I told her mom, you know, I told her mom and her sister what happened. The video came from NCBB, North Carolina Beach, whatever that platform he got, Juror or something. Right, I guess he sent it to me, so I don't know if it's already on the internet or not. Cause like I say, I don't be on stuff like that. I just know I was at the grave site where I was going to, you know, open, close her grave, and went on ahead and paid the money to close her grave, ma'am. And he sent me the video. When I saw it, I told him go ahead and send the video viral. I said, send it viral, man, because the whole nation, the whole world need to see that it was not no alcohol poison from what they said, and which deep down in my heart, I knew it was, you know, from the get-go. So I told him go ahead and send it. Even though she was there naked, they were hitting on her, you know. Couldn't be there to, you know, to do nothing. And I know they took over there, man. It wasn't nothing but premeditated, envious and jealous of her. You know, they don't know. They didn't change my whole life. They didn't change my whole life, man, to the core. You know, but God
My vengeance. God fight my vengeance for me, man. So, they back over here walking around. Didn't even call. Give me they said, Mr. Robinson, we sorry. The parents ain't even try to track me down. And he say, Mr. Robinson, we sorry about your daughter. They still got their daughters and sons. They out here walking around doing video. But that's okay, man. It's all good. But this whole world, this whole nation, God grace and how strong my faith is. Everybody gonna get justice. The clock is ticking. I'm a very patient man, very patient. My faith is in God very strong, but I'm just waiting on him. Just waiting on him. Like I tell you, every day is a struggle. I cry every day. Not knowing that I can't hear a voice. Only thing I can look at videos, pictures. It just hurt. And she would have been turning 20. She would have been turning 26 next month. Yeah, January the 9th. She would have been turning 26, man.
Thank you so much for taking the time with us. I know you've been through so much, and I can't. My condolences to you. I'm praying for you and your family, and we want to tell the story. We're doing this because we want to tell our story. We want to help you get justice. So, just thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Appreciate all the prayers around this nation, around this world. That's how I'm standing in my faith with God. That's how I'm standing. His strength and y'all prayers, your loving and y'all caring this, and want justice for Shanquella Robinson.
Well,
that's how I'm standing.
Well, let's talk about Shanquella. The world knows her. We all know her because of that video. It was circulating. It was awful to watch. But we know there's more to her than that awful moment. Who is she to you?
Shanquella Bernarda Robinson. That was my only child, my only daughter that God blessed me with. God gave me that seed. He blessed me with her to come in this world. As a father, to come in this world, and I was there at the hospital, even though she was a girl, trying to figure out where I can put my middle name, where I put my name on it at. So that's how the middle name came up with Bernarda, since my name is Bernard. So that I said, well, then, okay. I turned a couple of those letters around and put Bernarda. And that's how
That's your baby. You had to.
To the utmost. Very hardworking man. I'm old school. I don't be on social media like Twitter, Facebook, none of that. I'm just the type of person, I get up, thank the Lord for my health and my strength. And I go on and do an honest day, work, living, making sure she had what she had, being a very good provider for her, and the leader of the household. That's all. Make sure her foundation in church at a younger age got Christian in the church. Reading scripture, doing, Easter plays, Christmas plays. Got baptized.
So she had strong faith like you. She had strong faith like you.
Oh yeah, to the utmost. She wasn't. We wouldn't. I'm not perfect, and she wasn't perfect. We weren't born with no silver spoon in our mouth. I come from a father and a mother that was in the household. We had structure, we had discipline, we had chores. We just couldn't do what we want to do and just come in the house anytime we want to come in at the age when we got to 16, 15 or 16, like some of these teenagers doing now. They come in the house when they want to. Nah, my mom and dad didn't play that,
And you raised Shanquella with that structure too.
You couldn't get in. You're not getting in. You're not coming to their door at no 12, 11 o'clock knocking on the door, talking about let you in. No, you're gonna stay wherever you at. You know,
Yes, I know that kind of household well.
taking her to nursery, picking her up from nursery, taking her to elementary school, dropping her off, picking her up, going to eat lunch with her, bringing all the kids in her classroom cupcakes and ice cream.
That's
Her smart, her intelligent, making sure that she read 30 minutes a day. You know, like I say, I'm not bragging on my daughter, but as a father, that's how I was raised.
That's right.
So I put them same qualities as a parent raising that child up right, giving her that foundation, that knowledge, you know, that baton of knowing that she can be somebody, but be somebody in her own way, be successful in her own way. Being on the A and B honor roll, you know, putting in Chi America at a young age, you know, paying for these things, you know, teaching her the value of $1, you know, not to look down on nobody, you know, loving and caring. Yes, ma'am. No, sir. Respect your elders. You know, you can help anybody kind of way you help them. You don't look down on
being
them.
small, them girls though.
You know, don't be a materialistic person. You know, she had what she had, but at the same time, you better have them grades behind for you to have these things. You can't make these grades and keep these grades up, you're not gonna get these things. And then I always tell her, you go to school is just like a job. You go to school to make good grades, because one day you ain't gonna be going to school no more. So sooner or later, when you get out, you'll be able to, you know, do what you need to do to get a good, decent job where you can, you know, provide on your own. You don't need a man to provide on, you know, take care of you. Because as long as your dad is living, your dad gonna be right there. I'm gonna be right there for you. You know, I'm gonna tell you when
That's
you're
a
wrong.
beautiful,
You know,
that's a beautiful thing, sir. I mean, you must have been so proud of her.
Yeah, I was very proud of her, sir. You know, like I say, I went through some obstacle course, making sure she stayed on track, you know, going to the teacher conference and, you know, making sure she got her projects in, making sure she got her homework in when they weren't turned in, when they weren't turned in when they're supposed to be turned in. Now, we're not doing this right here. You go to school to learn. You don't go to school to be fashion and all that. It's good and nice that you dress in this kind of way, but still at the same time, you're going to have action behind your words. You know, my philosophy, I always say what you mean and mean what you say. You know, I'm just, I'm just real. I'm a people person, you know, making sure John C. Smith, I just drove, like I was telling the other lady, you know, I drove for John C. Smith part time, making sure, drove for the cheerleader, transporting the teams around, you know, and I drove for Miss Peggy Lyles. She was the cheerleader coach. And I treat all her girls like they were mine. I made sure the mother and their mothers and fathers know they can sleep good at night while their daughter is up on that campus and we travel and going back and forth, that their daughter's going to be safe coming back and forth from, you know, playing different teams, you know. And Shanquella used to come up to the school and all the cheerleaders, different classes, would take her to their dorms and say, Dad, one day I want to go to college. I said, you will? I said, Dad, got you. You will be going. I said, you just keep the grades up. You know, and she kept them up.
That's
you know, she got into Winston-Salem. You know, did her thing, you know, got a decent job, good jobs, you know, at an airline, and she started doing hair. And she got good at it. And I told her, I said, well, Dad, I can't do both. I said, well, you can make a good self for living or doing hair. I said, go for it. You know, but I said, you be successful in your own way. You be a leader. I always taught her to be a leader, not a follower. You know, you, and once you say you're a Robinson, they're gonna say your dad named Bernard.
I want to show y'all this right quick. Hold on, y'all. I want to show y'all this right quick. Show y'all this right quick. It's on side for the daddy. Daddy girl. Here we go. Let me show you.
The Charlotte woman was physically assaulted by her friend during a trip to Mexico, and it was all captured on video. Mexican authorities filed an arrest warrant and extradition for one American identified as the aggressor after medical examiners concluded Shanquella had a broken neck and spinal cord injury at her death. Meanwhile, an autopsy done in the U.S. came back inconclusive. The Department of Justice found there was not enough evidence to pursue federal charges. No one has since been arrested. Robinson's family say they will not stop fighting for Shanquella. WCNC Charlotte's Jesse Pierre shares how the nonprofit's now working to commemorate her life.
She was a person that wanted to love and help people. So we also want to keep that legacy alive. And we figured, what better way to honor her.
Keeping the legacy of Shanquella Bernarda Robinson alive. SBR Helping Hands is named after the Charlotte woman who was brutally beaten and tragically died in Cabo, Mexico last October during a vacation with friends. Despite Mexican authorities filing an arrest warrant in connection to her death, nearly 10 months later, no arrest.
Since my sister's death, we have been having trying times, dealing with the case, dealing with her not getting justice for one. And I seen that people showed up for us, people that we didn't know.
Quilla Long is Shanquella's sister and the founder. She says the nonprofit is about turning their pain into purpose and celebrating Shanquella's life through service. SBR kicking it off with an empowerment brunch. It will include panelists like the national civil rights activist Tamika Mallory, the family's attorney Sue Ann Robinson, and Basketball Wives star Jennifer Williams.
It's an opportunity to just get communities of all different race and all different kinds together, get together and speak about empowerment. It's just celebrate, and not just a legacy, but just life in general.
From scholarships.
Let me see Jennifer. Oh, we were talking about Jennifer. This is good right here. She doing this for her sister. This is good. Shanquella, I don't know what you were doing.
Authorities filing an arrest warrant in connection to her death. Nearly 10 months later, no arrest.
Since my sister's death, we have been having trying times, dealing with the case, dealing with her not getting justice for one. And I seen that people showed up for us, people that we didn't know.
Quilla Long is Shanquella's sister and the founder. She says the nonprofit is about turning their pain into purpose and celebrating Shanquella's life through service. SBR kicking it off with an empowerment brunch. It will include panelists like the national civil rights activist Tamika Mallory, the family's attorney Sue Ann Robinson, and Basketball Wives star Jennifer Williams.
It's our
Jennifer. Jennifer, the one used to fight all the time. Okay.
Opportunity to just get communities of all different race and all different kinds together, get together and speak about empowerment. It's just celebrate, and not just a legacy, but just life in general.
From scholarships, being a resource to the community and families facing tragedies, to combating bullying.
That's one of the main focuses. If you see it, do something about it. Don't, just make sure you don't just stand around, don't condone it.
Long says she saw the power of unity firsthand following her sister's death through all of the people who stood in solidarity and demanded justice for Shanquella.
We are a great group of people when we stand together.
Long says Shanquella's name lives on through them and their organization, and the pursuit of justice continues.
We're still fighting. We're still fighting.
The brunch is taking place on August 27th at the Bazal Art Gallery. For more details, head to WCNC.com.
That's nice, y'all. That is so beautiful what she did for her sister. That is so beautiful. I ain't gonna keep y'all up, but I'm gonna do the last one at the funeral. I'm gonna do the last one. That's gonna be it.
We all want a cleaner, healthier planet.
That's real nice. That's what all families should do. Keep that hope.
Her father is now speaking out days after the DOJ decided not to file charges in connection to her death.
This comes as an American autopsy showed her spine was still intact when she died. That
Look, that's why I had to find this. The spine was found intact. Okay, intact. Well,
contradicted an autopsy released by Mexican investigators that said she died from a severe spinal cord injury. Erica Lunsford talked with Shanquella's father at her gravesite, where a new marker has been installed.
I just want y'all to come out here and let everyone know around this world.
Nearly 6 months after her death while on vacation in Mexico, then 25-year-old Shanquella Robinson now has a grave in her hometown of Charlotte at the Beatties Ford Memorial Gardens in Huntersville.
Her mark is right here. This father right here, I can drive up here anytime and come and see her.
Bernard Robinson, Shanquella's father, opened up Monday. This was the first time he spoke since federal prosecutors chose not to file criminal charges in the death of his daughter. Simply put, Robinson says justice.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Oh, I had to hear it twice. not to charge. Y'all heard it?
Spine was still intact when she died. That contradicted an autopsy released by Mexican investigators that said she died from a severe spinal cord injury. Erica Lunsford talked with Shanquella.
So what's the girl's spine? That was his attack. Why are the lines coming out? Isn't it real? What? Let's not support federal prosecution. I don't understand this.
Father at her gravesite, where a new marker has been installed.
I just want y'all to come out here and let everyone know around this world.
Nearly 6 months after her death while on vacation in Mexico, then 25-year-old Shanquella Robinson now has a grave in her hometown of Charlotte at the Beatties Ford Memorial Gardens in Huntersville.
Her mark is right here. This father right here, I can drive up here anytime and come and see her.
Bernard Robinson, Shanquella's father, opened up Monday. This was the first time he spoke since federal prosecutors chose not to file criminal charges in the death of his daughter. Simply put, Robinson says justice will be served.
The case is still open. Right now, they just saying a lack of evidence. But eventually, God gonna do something where it's gonna be evidence. So it's just coming. It's just a matter of time.
Shanquella's father also talked about his daily hardships. Who last saw his daughter alive. Those who left her body in Mexico aren't facing charges.
Their life is still moving around, walking around here like they enjoy life. But this father right here is struggling each and every day. These 6 individuals, y'all didn't put a hole in this father's heart here, though. Sure enough have.
Moving forward with faith, Robinson says he is grateful for her name here on a gravesite where he and others can now come to feel close to Shanquella.
This way Shanquella at. So the mothers and the fathers want to bring their kids up here and stand right here and, talk to her they can.
That's it. Real daddy.
Reporting in Huntersville, Erica Lunsford.
Real father. That's a real father. That's a real father right there, y'all. That's all I want to hear. All right, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I just want to come in with y'all. Share this live so we have nothing else to do. Thanks for being here, y'all.